What's going on, Doe fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys have been doing well. We have a massive one today. Bitcoin is really looking like it really wants to break all-time high today. I'll show you guys the reasons why I really think that Bitcoin's run to 150k is imminent, and I would not be surprised in the next 2 to 3 months Bitcoin is at 150k area or so. But without further ado, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow those pages. I do Bitcoin and altcoin market analysis, and I also focus in on the base chain ecosystem niche. And for today's base native coin of the day, I will be covering Alien Base once again. We have some really nice chart updates to show you guys. As you guys can already tell, we've broken out of a major range, and we actually have nicely retested it and looking like it's going to break out. So let's get right into it. So first of all, for Bitcoin liquidations, we had $200 million today. I do suspect that in the next 24 hours or so, this is going to spike. The main reason is we have a lot of liquidations building up at both sides of the market. So for Bitcoin, we have a lot of liquidations just above us. And as you can already see here, our long short ratio is really starting to shift to the short side. We're having a lot of people shorting the local highs here, and this might just be the fuel to the fire to actually make new all-time highs. As you can see, we're actually sitting at about 45% in longs and 54% in shorts. So when it comes to that, we're going to have a lot of short squeezes happening over the next 48 hours, in my opinion. And as you guys can already see, we're having a lot of liquidations getting built up. So exciting times on that, because it's looking like total coin market cap is most likely going to break out to the upside as well. And the previous all-time highs is definitely a magnet for that. So in the next probably a week or so, I would not be surprised total coin market cap is well on its way to all-time highs. And same with Ethereum's range highs. So when it comes to Ethereum, I do expect Ethereum to really break out into the range highs very, very soon, and probably in the next few months. And once we hit that 4.2k region, most likely it will be a break to the upside for all-time highs. Because as you guys can see, this range high has already been tested a few times already, and let's see if we get that range high break at the fourth touch. For stock market, I guess same thing. I've been telling you guys, I have been expecting a breakdown and at least a high or low, but the stock market is still very strong, and it's having like a true breakout and lockout rally right now. So let's see where it goes. Ideally, we do have a higher low just so it makes it more healthy, but who knows really. This stock market is looking really strong right now, and we could just be holding this macro uptrend until all-time highs and might just go into a parabolic stage from there. Next part of the video will be tweets. So first tweet by James Choi: explosive move in the stock market coming very soon. So once we get that higher low, I really do think that the stock market will head on into a parabolic stage, and this will be confirmed by getting that retest of this macro uptrend. So as you guys can see, this macro uptrend has been made since October 2022, and every time we've retested it, we've had a nice breakout to the upside. So we're waiting for that higher low, which will most likely be a macro retest of that trend line. And once we get that, I will be most likely telling you guys, look, the stock market is looking like it really wants to go to a parabolic stage. And just based on Elliott wave theory as well, because I know you guys like to know the Elliott wave theory kind of stuff, this is technically a fifth wave Elliott wave. So you got the wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and now we're actually waiting for that wave 5, which will be the most parabolic stage of the stock market. So if we get that fifth wave, most likely the stock market will head on to like 6.5k plus, which will obviously mean that yes, the stock market is heading to a macro top, but Bitcoin generally really outperforms at that stage, and Bitcoin will most likely, and it's already looking like it's going to head on to a massive parabolic wave to the upside. And I've already told you guys, look, this third wave parabolic stage is already being settled. And in my opinion, it's been confirmed. We've had multiple retests already. So first macro third wave of this parabolic stage was set on our macro low back in April. We've had the second touch, third touch, now fourth touch. And now really we're just waiting for all-time highs. Like, I do expect all-time highs for Bitcoin to be broken this week, unless something else changes. I will keep constantly relaying you guys to the charts, but it's looking like Bitcoin really wants to break all-time high, and I would not be surprised if it's broken in the next 24 hours. Our next tweet is by Super Bitcoin Bro. So he had an inverse head and shoulders set up here, and he really thinks that Bitcoin is about to enter in up-only mode. As you guys can see, we have this major macro shoulder line here, and we've had a nice retest and looking like we're going up above. And this is actually a fractal that Super Bitcoin has used from the previous bull cycle. And when it comes to that, if we're heading to that final massive parabolic stage, which I do expect, do not be surprised that Bitcoin is like 200k within the next 2 months, because this final really parabolic stage to the bull cycle is the most explosive one, generally speaking, like based on history. And when it comes to that, I do expect the doubling of Bitcoin from the recent macro low to really be completed within the next 2 months. And when it comes to that, like, alts will go absolutely berserk. And I do think base chain tokens will also really go on the parabolic stage. Next tweet is by Donny. So DXY looks like it really wants to break down. We had that nice low being made, and then a nice little retest, and now we're just waiting for that breakdown, which will most likely mean the M2 money supply will go up. And generally speaking, if M2 money supply goes up, the price of Bitcoin also goes up, as well as our base native coin assets. Next tweet is by Blunt's Capital, and this is around the Ethereum chart. So not gonna lie, Ethereum actually looks pretty good here. The question is, am I mentally ill enough to long it? So as you guys can see, Ethereum is putting in a textbook Elliott wave right now, and it's looking like it's heading on to a massive run to the upside. And most likely, if this is to be the case, most likely Ethereum would pretty much just go straight to the range highs of this range, and that would be around the 4K region or so. So let's see where that goes. On a time-wise perspective, we can expect once Bitcoin really breaks out this week, especially all-time high this week, Ethereum will most likely have a massive parabolic run in the next few months. Next tweet is by Income Sharks. So Bitcoin OB, which is basically the net positive inflows of volume and selling outflows. And he's just showing here, it's on the cusp of a breakout. If we see Bitcoin break all-time highs before stocks, he's moving all of his profits over to crypto, because generally speaking, every time we have a breakout, and looking at the cup and handles are very bullish. As soon as we get this breakout to the upside, Bitcoin will go absolutely parabolic, and it just gives me more confidence that, look, Bitcoin at minimum is going to hit the 150k region, and let's see where it goes after that, because I do think, and my base case has been 150k, but I will be relaying the charts to you guys if we're actually looking like we're going to have another doubling to that 300k region, because it's going back to that fractal as well. That fractal goes all the way up to 320k. So let's see where it goes. My base case to you guys has been 150k Bitcoin, but let's see how far we can go ahead of it, and I'll be able to look for like any topping patterns happening once that actually occurs. Next tweet is by Blunts once again, and going back to the DXY rolling over, it's looking like it's going to make a final low. And that will most likely mean that Bitcoin is going to be in its massive parabolic stage, and probably well into June, July, August we'll have that run. So very exciting times for Bitcoin as well as our base native coin assets. So the next part of the video will be Alien Base. So Alien Base, I've covered you guys already multiple times. Alien Base is the best trading DEX experience on base chain, and I really do think that once base chain really starts getting massive capital inflows and Ethereum starts breaking to new all-time highs, base native token assets will go absolutely berserk. And what you guys really want to look for is not necessarily Alien Base as well, but all the tokens you should be guys investing in on base chain is number one tokens of their niche. And the reason why I'm covering Alien Base quite often to you guys is, look, Alien Base is the best number one trading DEX experience of base chain, and all that really requires is base chain doing well. And it's looking like base chain will most likely be the number one chain of this bull cycle, and Alien Base will capture majority of those inflows, and I do expect massive multiples out of Alien Base. But nonetheless, when it comes to price chart updates and technical analysis, the charts do not lie. So putting the fundamentals aside, when it comes to Alien Base, obviously we had that massive parabolic run back in late last year, and now we just completed that correction. And what I wanted to see, and which is actually happening right now, because I relayed it to the charts to you guys back, I think, it was about early last month. And when it comes to that, we had that breakout to the upside, and we actually went above that range high we wanted to see. And we actually had a nice, beautiful retest the past week. So we've actually retested it. Let me just delete these lines for you guys just to make it easier. Yep, I'll move that over. So as you guys can see, we've broken out, retested that range high, and now we're looking like we really want to make up to new highs. So when it comes to that, I really do think when Bitcoin breaks new all-time highs, do not be surprised. Alien Base is within at least the 20 cent region in the next few weeks. and Alien Base will most likely make new all-time highs when Ethereum hits that range high and base chain starts capturing a lot of inflows. But Alien Base is looking very bullish. When it comes to fundamentals for Alien Base, they actually had a massive update today. So the first small update was their front end. So their front end UI is looking very sleek right now, and they just updated their website. So the DApp looks really good. But the main thing I wanted to show you guys is their new Mothership update. So basically, they're really trying to introduce a new way for liquidity providers to provide liquidity to different token assets whilst reducing impermanent loss and just promoting the growth of their own assets and just allowing really liquidity providers to be incentivized to host more liquidity and assets on the Alien Base ecosystem. So it's looking like Alien Base is really trying to push into the liquidity hub of Base Chain. And of course, since Base Chain has massive inflows and massive TVL as it speaks, and I really do think TVL numbers were at least 5x from here for the remainder of the bull cycle, but Alien Base with its Mothership tech can actually adopt a lot of this and gain a lot of the TVL metrics. So I would not be surprised TVL metrics for Alien Base as well as volume at least 10x's from me, especially with his Mothership update. And just another thing as well, like just to give you a clarification of what Mothership is basically a new way of liquidity providers to provide liquidity whilst reducing pretty much the impermanent loss, which is a major issue with providing liquidity. And another thing as well is they're actually providing just pretty much different features and sets that could actually really allow more adoption for the Alien Base ecosystem. And the main thing that really caught my eye with this upgrade is they're building a dual public-private structure, which basically means is there will be vaults where people can lock up funds in, so permissionless as well as permissioned vaults. And people can create their own strategies and monetize their own strategies. And most likely institutional capital will also be incentivized to use this kind of stuff because a lot of institutions have funds like USDC, Ethereum bridged over on Base Chain. And once they see this tech, this Mothership tech, where they're actually able to provide yearly like emissions and income, Mothership will actually like adopt a lot of that TVL metrics, the fees, the volume, etc. And the benefit of this adoption, if you guys are already wondering, most of the fees that come from updates like Mothership, TVL, liquidity, etc., go straight to the Alien Base stakers. So of course, if you own Alien Base, I do suggest if you guys are looking to get emissions and just have like daily income fees, definitely stake some Alien Base in the ALB pool because you'll be gaining about 24% interest APRs every year. And of course, there is a lockup. So if you guys haven't already, I definitely suggest to read the docs because there is a 30-day unlock period. But nonetheless, if you guys are holding Alien Base for the long term, I definitely do suggest holding ALB because most likely, once Alien Base really starts kicking into gear, you'll be pretty much just earning more ALB tokens. So it's sort of a no-brainer if you're looking to hold Alien Base for the long term and not looking to sell within the next 30 days. Like, it's sort of a no-brainer to stake your tokens, and that's really one of the incentive ways of actually owning Alien Base because all the products and tools they make, a lot of the profits and emissions are rotated in the ALB pool, hence why there's actually a 24% APR for staking Alien Base. But yeah, so that's all to the video, guys. Just another recap as well, because it's actually looking like Bitcoin is breaking it out now as it stands. And yeah, so we're actually at 107.5. Once again, I really do think that Bitcoin will most likely make all-time highs this week, maybe even the next 24 hours. And with this all-time high, most likely Ethereum will really start moving, as well as base native assets like Alien Base. But that's all to the video, guys. If you guys like the video, like and subscribe, ring the bell, do all that, and make sure to comment down below because I do look at you guys' comments and see what base native coins I should be covering every day. But yeah, that's all to the video, guys. Peace.